Welcome back to the Ask Dr. Be Good show, the show where we bring you the neat things happening in public education. Now we have entered into week 3 of closure, week 2 of instructional packets and online instruction. And so I brought you some of our campus heroes that will talk about their part in making sure that your needs, your instructional needs, your kids' instructional needs are met. And so one of the things that we do quickly is to introduce ourselves. So would the person to my left go ahead and start? Top left.
Staci Weaver.
Oh, you guys are all, you know, we're doing this remotely, and so you are seeing different people in different quadrants. All right, so let's start with Ida. I'll go in my circle. Ida?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ida Dominguez. I'm the Special Programs Coordinator for the district.
All right, Ms. Weaver?
Staci Weaver, and I'm the Senior Director of School Operations.
And Buddy?
My name is Buddy Davis, and I am the Director of Facilities.
Mr. Javier?
My name is Javier Chaparro, and I'm the Director at the High School, Mesquite West.
Thank you. Last but not least.
My name is Cynthia Mann, and I am the Special Education Director for Legacy PCA.
Thank you all for being here. Now let's quickly start. I'm going to have our facilities person, Mr. Davis, talk about so many of the operational things that have had to go on the last couple of weeks. Take it away.
All right, so to date so far, we have served 12,860 meals in the past 2 weeks for students. We're doing a grab and go type meal. They're prepackaged food. Each child will get 7 breakfast, 7 lunch. New guidelines that came out today from the TDA for anyone that is not enrolled in our campuses. We still get food out 1 to 18 years old. And that parent must provide student ID, attendance record, or a letter from their campus, birth certificate, or student ID, which I think I said that. We are delivering the meals to them outside. The parent is raising the trunk of the cars for us and replacing the food in the car, in the trunk, and closing it, and they're on their way. So it's a very quick process.
Is there a new lunch schedule starting next week?
There is. Starting Monday, we're going to start serving from 8 o'clock until 5:30 one day only, starting on Mondays. And that's it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that only on Mondays will we be giving out instructional packets and lunches, or receiving instructional packets, if we're still doing that. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And why are we moving to that schedule?
For two reasons. Safety for our employees, and number 2, so we can provide meals that everyone's coming or that's driving in. There's no way for us to know how many meals we'll be serving, and that'll help us keep a count for the following week, and we can have food in place.
So it's first come, first serve, right?
First come, first serve.
Because now we're running out of food pretty regularly, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure are. We've run out of food in Mesquite last week, and also Plano, but our vendor has as of right now fully stocked for next week.
Okay. Now you should be very proud of the fact that you served 8,600 meals last week, or
yes.
Sent home. I shouldn't say served, but sent home 8,600 meals. That's
8,600 meals last week, and so far to date, you know, just in Plano alone today, we've given out over 70 meals. So
amazing.
yeah, it's really see the kids and the parents being really grateful, and everything has went really smooth.
Now, another rule is that the kids no longer have to be in the car.
That is correct. TDA has announced, Texas Department of Agriculture has announced that, you know, to protect the child, they no longer have to be in the vehicle. They put a waiver on that for us, so, and it makes it a little bit easier for our employees that are out there, you know, on the grab and go line, so to speak.
Okay, thank you. We have, one of the things that we've learned during this short period of time is that parents need to establish routines with their kids to really help children feel structured and comfortable. Matter of fact, I heard it again on the radio this morning. They had a mental health expert, psychiatrist, who said, and he works with kids, and he said, kids must feel structure for them to feel safe and happy. And so one of the things that's been a little bit difficult for some of our parents is establishing that structure. So let's watch this video on how to go about establishing a structure, and take a note of the organization that's putting on this video so that you can refer back to them, because it's a great source of information for families.
Hi there, this is Christina from Emergent Tree. And just like you, I'm learning to navigate the balance between working at home, distance learning, and still enjoying my family while we spend an extended amount of time together. A few days ago, we posted a photo on social media of how we utilize our school-wide expectations at home with our family, and we got a great deal of response from different families just like mine and yours, learning to navigate this new way of living. So we thought we'd show you a video of how you can set up your family expectations with your family. So next you'll see May and her family using the same highly effective strategies that we use in a school with safe, respectful, responsible. With her family, her children are giving real life examples of what they would expect to be safe behavior in their house, respectful behavior, and responsible behavior in their household. Once you've established your family expectations, then you can congratulate and celebrate each other when we've demonstrated those, as well as correcting when someone has violated or broken one of our expectations. You can use those expectations to go back and reset or reteach maybe some challenging or minor misbehavior. We can use a dry erase board, a chalkboard, or paper pencil. Down in the description below, I've given you a digital resource that you can use for your family. If you want to be really specific or really detailed, you can even set your expectations for what they look like in morning routine versus what they look like during work time, or versus what they look like during playtime. Your choice, your family's choice, whatever you need during this really unexpected time. It's really important to reset our expectations when so much is unknown. So come back again tomorrow as we launch more videos and more resources for you and your family as we learn to navigate this new way of living for us. Thanks so much. Subscribe to our channel, and thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
All right. So guys, we're going to talk a little bit about some of our family expectations and the way that we're going to treat each other, hopefully all the time, but especially during this time right now while we are home together a whole lot, right? So we've always had some family rules, but it seems like this is a good time because we're going to be spending a lot of time together and a lot of time just here at the house for us to kind of go over those things again and maybe put them more specifically down so that we remember them, okay? So we're going to talk about 3 things together as a family. We're going to talk about being safe, which is how we use our bodies. Hold on. It's how we use our bodies, and it's how we keep ourselves from getting hurt and keep each other from getting hurt. Then we're going to talk about respectful, which is how we communicate and how we talk with one another. Hold on, almost there. And then we're going to talk about responsible, which is taking care of our work, our items, and our home. Okay, so I can tell Conley you already have something to say. What would you like to say?
No running on the stairs.
Oh, that's a really good one. So let's start then with safe, because what you talked about is a way that we keep ourselves safe, right? So I'm going to say, we said no running on the stairs. Can we say walk on the stairs? Okay, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk on the stairs. All right. What else? Asher or Briar, do one of you guys have an idea?
Wash our hands.
Oh, that's a really good one right now, right? We should always wash our hands, but right now especially we need to remember to wash those hands. Okay. Okay, the next one, let's talk about respectful. So remember, respectful is about how we use our words. So hold on, this time I want to actually start with Dad and see if Dad has an idea for respectful.
We can be quiet near the office when Mom and Dad are working.
Oh, that's a good one. And I know you guys aren't used to that so much, but Dad and I are going to have to do a lot of working at home for the next couple weeks. And so it's really important for us that when you're near our office, you're nice and quiet. So quiet near the office. That's a really good one. That helps out me and Dad. Asher, you look like you had another one.
We could be cooperative if we have a problem.
Okay, so give me an example. What would we do to be cooperative if we have a problem?
Like, we could work it out instead of arguing.
Yeah, so work out problems together. I like that. Briar, can I ask you, what about at school? What are some things you guys talk about to be respectful with words?
Not to say mean stuff to other people.
Okay, say that again. Hold on, Carly, your turn next.
Not to say mean stuff to people.
Okay, so not to say mean stuff. What kind of stuff should you say to people?
Nice stuff.
So use kind words?
Yes.
All right. All right, you guys are being great thinkers and ideas of expectations. So we have one more we'll talk about, and we might add to some of these later, but this gives us a good start. The last one is responsible. So Briar, can you tell me something we can do
not interrupt people?
Oh, that's a good one, but you know what? And that could be part of responsible.
And then I just interrupted you.
Good idea. You know what? Let's wait. Hold on. You have a good idea. Keep that idea. I'm going to actually put here, I'm going to say wait for others to finish. Yeah, to finish talking. Because that's actually a really good part of respect. Okay, and so responsible has to do with our things, like our toys in our home. Can you think of something, Conley, that would be responsible?
It's taking Trooper for walks, playing with our cats, with passing them toys gently. So
Okay.
basically taking our dog for a walk. No, taking care of pets.
Okay, so all of those were good ideas. So walking the dog, playing with our cats with toys. So I'm going to say taking care of pets. You guys had a great idea because we do have to be responsible with our pets. All right, what else, Asher?
We could clean up after ourselves.
That's a good one.
Before we move on to another thing, we clean up what we were playing with before.
So listen to Mom and Dad. And you know what? Mom and Dad need to listen to each other and to you guys too, right? Especially when you have ideas to share. So thank you guys for doing a really good job brainstorming for our family. So what we're going to try and remember over the next couple of weeks is that sometimes we'll have to remind each other to do these things, right? So Mom or Dad might say to you, oh, remember you need to walk on the stairs because that's how we stay safe.
Because office.
Or we might have to remind you, hold on. We might have to remind you to work out your problems together and us to try and find a compromise or solution. And so we'll help remind each other of these things, but this gives us a really good start. So I appreciate you guys coming up with some ideas with me, and I know that we're gonna work together to make sure that we all kind of help follow these rules and expectations together.
Okay.
That video is a good way of helping you parents see what a family meeting might look like as you gather around and come up with the family norms. All right, now let's go on. And we have Ms. Weaver now, who's going to talk to us about our IT issues, needs, and troubleshooting?
So IT department was able to deploy over 1,000 computers for students. So it was a great idea to immediately move to a virtual situation. But in doing so, there are a lot of people that don't have the curve or the experience with technology. So our technology department set up a ticketing system so parents could go there if there's a problem with the actual technology, don't understand how to do something. And with that said, we have had hundreds of parents use our ticketing system. Our IT department has posted on our Facebook, and they've also walked parents through every scenario to learn Google Classroom, how to get invited, how to work with their students, so that they understand that whole concept. So it's been a tremendous learning curve for everybody, but it's been very positive and it's working very smoothly. We're reaching so many parents. And with that said, we've done some other things. We're trying to move parents from bringing back packets because we're trying to minimize exposure of our employees. And so, something that we're also doing, we put up on our Facebook and did step-by-step instructions, was how to either take a picture or scan with your note section of your phone so that parents could just email the work when it's done to the teacher. So we're encouraging parents when they pick up their packet, we're asking them, please don't return them, please take pictures and, or just scan them back to the teacher. And that way, we don't have to touch or expose anybody to anything that's going to come back on the paper.
So this is especially important. I believe today we had a principal in Waco who was part of a instructional packet receiving line, and he got COVID and he has since passed away from it. And so that is helping us understand, again, how to keep getting safer. And by asking parents to upload pictures of the work and not having it dropped off, it increases the safety for our personnel that's still at the campus level.
Exactly, and that is our main, everybody safe, students, parents, our staff, everybody. And we're continually updating our staff on all the latest safety and security procedures, using how to wash their hands, how to sanitize, how long things remain, COVID-19 virus remains alive on surfaces and different things. So it's a constant ongoing practice. As updates come out, we continually update our faculty and staff.
Thank you. And so that's why, again, it sort of goes with the moving to having lunch offered once a week. We're trying to minimize the amount of staff at the campus, the amount of exposure to our staff and to our parents, to our community. It works both ways. We're not immune, just like they're not immune. So knock on wood, we haven't had any yet, but let's keep being safe and maybe we won't have any at all.
Prayer.
Yeah. We're going to now go to what did that deployment of laptops look like at your campus, Mr. Chaparro?
Well, as you know, Dr. Good, we were, if not the first, one of the first districts that accomplished the distribution of equipment to our students. And the training part that Ms. Weaver was referring to was for the adults, meaning, some teachers and parents, but our students are well versed in the management of technology because Legacy has that as a platform. We use technology every day, and the students are posting or uploading their assignments and so on and so forth. But as far as the distribution of equipment, we had a plan for distribution. The first thing that we did was sanitizing the equipment. We went through every single laptop and charger, and then we sanitized them and got them ready for distribution. Then we had a system where students with certain initials in their last name were scheduled to come in and pick up their laptops at certain intervals. And we did this for 3 consecutive days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with extended schedules, meaning that we started to distribute laptops at 7:30 a.m. and then we ended at 6:30 p.m. That's 11 hours doing this, and great team effort, and all of the ones involved were on it. They knew the importance of doing it right. So on Wednesday, we still had like in Mesquite, West High School, we had around maybe 45 laptops that needed to be distributed, and those parents that could not come and pick the equipment up because they were working, or they did not have transportation, or a number of reasons, right? So we created 2 teams, and we kind of studied the addresses of those students, and then we created sectors. So sector 1 was the closest to the school, and sector 2 were the places or the domiciles that we needed to visit that were farther away from the school. And as you know, in an ISD, they go by attendance zones. So for the most part, the students live in that same neighborhood. Legacy has students from all over the place. So it was a task to accomplish, and we needed to accomplish it within 2 days. So we have students from Garland, from Seagoville, from Dallas, from Mesquite, from all over the place. So we put together 2 teams, and we knocked on doors. We went out there and made sure that every student had a laptop to work with. And at this point, I can tell you that 100% of our students have a laptop. And yeah, from time to time, we receive phone calls saying Ms. Chaparro or Ms. Nielsen or whomever, I'm having issues connecting, and then we remotely connect with our laptops and help the students or the parents, with any technology issues that they might have. And then the last part of the plan, well, there's the in between, they're going to have to be working and submitting assignments and so on and so forth. But the last part is whenever this crisis is over, hopefully soon, we have a plan for whenever we receive the equipment back, we have to sanitize again and make sure that the equipment is ready to be used every day, and continue on with the regular learning that we have, the traditional learning that we have here at LLS.
Thank you, Mr. Chaparro. Now, Dr. Mann, you want to talk to us about special populations? And that encompasses a lot of different areas. Go ahead and tell us what's happening with our special ed kids.
As far as with the services and providing the services to our students who receive special education support online, there are a couple of short things that we can discuss and talk about how parents and students play an important role in that as well. As far as with our students and online learning, we provide our students, as always, special education support and services will continue. It may look a little different, and it may be provided in a slightly different manner because of the online world, but we are, in fact, still as much as possible and as appropriate and outlined by the student's individual education program are providing those services. So a few services, the majority of our kids, they receive in-class support services. And so with the platforms that we're using, with our elementary kids, we're using Google Classroom. With our secondary kids, we're using Echo. Both of those platforms allows for the general education teachers to invite our special education teacher and our special education teacher assistants as a part of their classroom as co-teachers. This is important so that when the general ed teacher is providing lessons or have given out lessons, our special education staff can monitor the students who are in the classrooms and assist the gen ed teacher with the accommodations, and assist the gen ed teachers with making sure that the students are being successful in meeting their goals. A part of that in-class support with those platforms, we have some students who also receive what we call resource support. And these are our students who require a little bit more hands-on. If we were not in an online learning environment, these would be students that will receive resource support. They will be what we call traditional pull-out students. They will report to a special education setting and receive instruction directly from the education teacher. Now, these students in the virtual world, they are still participating in the gen ed classrooms, but thanks to the platforms that we're using and thanks to the technology department training our TAs and SPED teachers and also our gen ed teachers, within those platforms, we're able to create a resource environment within those gen ed classrooms. So with that being said, any students who require that resource support, a little more pull-out support within that classroom, the special education staff is able to create a link with a Google Meets or Google Hangouts and invite those kids over into that link and provide that more direct instruction. For us with accommodations, the gen ed teachers, all of the students' accommodations are accessible. We have a platform at Eduphoria in which all of the students' accommodations are uploaded. So our general education teachers are still able to access those IEPs and when they're planning to make sure when they're planning that those individual accommodations and modifications are being met. Just a little bit to wrap up, we have students that receive what we call eligibility related services. That may be in the form of speech therapy, that may be in the form of vision impairment or audio impairment or orientation mobility. These services can still be provided, although in a modified format online. And these services are directly in line with the students' IEPs. Some of the services have to be modified, and for those, we've had to contact parents and explain how that modification is going to look a little bit and get their permission for that to happen. But those eligibility-related services are still being provided. And then lastly, just to kind of talk about what Dr. Good opened up with as far as routine. Thankfully, with the platform we're using, Google Docs and Google Classrooms and Echo, our special education teachers and TAs, they are still able to go into those environments virtually and provide the service to their students. This creates routine for our kids. Students with disabilities typically do better when the routine is maintained, when that continuity is maintained. So with platforms we're using, the same teachers, the same TAs that they were assisted in receiving those supports when we were going to classes on campus, they're still receiving those supports from the same personnel, which helps with the routine. And we just ask that art meetings, lastly, art meetings are still happening. They're happening kind of like what we're doing now, but they're still happening. And so we're very proud. We've got a lot of support from curriculum people, our whole district, all together. Everybody has provided that support to make sure that not only that all of our kids are receiving that a positive online experience, but especially our students with receiving special education as well.
Ms. Dominguez, go ahead and finish us out with what we're doing for our GT and our ELs.
Yes, let's start with the ELs, following the line of thought from Dr. Mann. The English learners, ELs, are receiving the support just as close as they were receiving it in the traditional school before all this. So the same system you see in Google Classroom for the elementary and Echo for the secondary. The general ed teachers have invited the English learner teacher assistants, the ELTAs, to go into their classroom, and in this form they can support the students. They have access to their student, to the accommodations, and they in constant discussion with the teachers in regards to the caseload and the instructions of how to provide that support. The ELTAs are assisting the students. They can either do it individually or they can do it in small groups with the lesson assignments. And when they're being imparted their lesson through one of the platforms, they monitor and supervise the students that are engaged in the activities that are provided by the teachers. So in the same fashion as they were doing when they were actually visiting the classroom, they're able to do this through the two platforms that we're using for instruction. In regards to the GT students, they were already started the GT Saturdays program where they would go to school on Saturdays and work on projects. and we have been able, with the same platforms that we had in system for GT, we've put that in a way online, so they are receiving their GT Saturdays, where they have the opportunity to work with their teachers and with their peers, receiving instructions, expectations, explanation of what are the activities for that day, and they're also able to work independently with their projects and their activities. The same thing also on Mondays for the GT rotations. They also are receiving activities. They're all doing all this through the GT Google Classroom. So we have a Google Classroom specific for GT where we post those activities, and they're being able to work on those.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you talk about GT Saturday School?
Yes.
Okay, now I think we probably had the first GT Saturday School in the state of Texas after this. Right?
Yes, I think so. Last Saturday was the second one. So actually we did the first one, we did it remotely, where we had already built the classroom, invited the students, and they had enrolled, and they already had their activities. And this past Saturday, since we had already deployed the laptops and the devices to the students, they were able to log in and have a live online session with their teachers in both campuses.
So we have very quickly come to the end of our podcast. As always, the time goes by quickly. And so I thank you for all of you being on and sort of bringing the state of the union address to us of where we currently are on week 3 of closure, week 2 of instruction, and we're just going to get better. So thank you all for that, and keep doing the good work. Thank you.
Hi, this is Jim Elliott from the Dallas office of the Federal Trade Commission. And I wanted to give you a heads up on some of the COVID scams that the FTC and its partners are seeing. For example, we're seeing mail order, door-to-door, and online sales of fake coronavirus test kits. We're also seeing that marketers are taking advantage of our fears and selling scam treatments. We've seen this with SARS, bird flu, and now it's moved on to coronavirus. Look out for unproven or misbranded products such as teas and essential oils promising a cure. Watch out for fake charities and GoFundMe pages. And of course, we're seeing price gouging. One of the things we're seeing is malware phishing and text message scams, where the pop-up email or text message includes the word coronavirus. Don't open or download untrusted links, and never give out your personal information, such as your bank account number or your credit card number or your date of birth. And never pay when asked with either a gift card or a money wire. That's a red flag for a scam.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ask Dr. Be Good show. For more information on Legacy Preparatory Charter Schools, visit our website, legacypca.com, or call 469-249-1099. And remember to like us on Facebook, where we stream live weekly Tuesdays at 3 p.m.